Life Path 1. Welcome to Soothing Ascension Spiritual Awakening Journey. This is Stacy, spiritual guide and mentor. This is going to be the 4 lessons that you guys need to achieve in your lifetime. This is going to be a very special episode because I am a Life Path 1. Yay! And we have one of those paths that it's not easily understood by all, but it is a fun path, and I wouldn't choose any other way. Now, Life Path 1 can also show up as a Life Path 10, okay? We are also 10s. We're also the beginning and the actual real end, because if you drop the 0, it comes down to 1, but in fact, you're in many other numerology practices, they consider the 1 an actual 10. So when people say you're fresh energy or we're starting and you think this is your first time incarnated, it is not. You have alchemy. You have a lot of alchemy from 1 to 10, believe it or not. It's not just a 1 energy. You have the energy of a 10. And if any of you read tarots, you know that 10 is the last final chapter, as well as usually the card of alchemy. It's the full conclusion. So you guys can start stuff and also conclude it rather quickly if you continue on the path in order and don't get distracted, okay? So let's go first. The first lesson to achieve is your independence. Embrace your individuality and learn to stand on your own. This is a big lesson that the Life Path 1 is going to have to achieve because you're supposed to be independent. So in life, if you find yourself that you have other people that are paying for your bills or may have ways to have things over your head and you kind of are dependent on them like a crutch in any kind of way, it might not even be bills, it may be a relationship where you feel like someone's always in charge of you, or at work where you're always never in charge, someone else is micromanaging you and you feel like you could do a better job than them, but you are afraid to step up because you don't want the responsibility. This is something that will come up throughout your lifetime where you constantly are being challenged and then kind of being overpowered by other sources or people or things, and you don't exactly understand why this keeps happening, but you don't feel comfortable leading yet. You have to find ways to be independent. You have to find your independence and stand strong in that. Embrace it and embrace your individuality. You are supposed to be different. You are individual. Stand on your own. If people are telling you to go left and you firmly believe you're supposed to go right, then go right. You do not have to follow the crowd. The Life Path 1's biggest detriment is when they try to follow the crowd just to fit in and not shine. You're ruled by the planet, not the planet, not a planet. You're ruled by the sun, the sun, the sun. So the sun has a lot of energy. The sun arises and shines on everyone else. So do not be afraid to shine. And it's going to take being your independent self. The second lesson is leadership. Develop your natural leadership skills and lead with confidence and integrity. You are born leaders. You're supposed to lead. You do not necessarily have to be in charge of a company, although a lot of you are going to make great entrepreneurs. It's great business people if you go into business for yourself. You may tend to try a lot of different tasks, a lot of different things and not complete it, but that's just for you to keep on going until you find your path. Don't think of anything in the past as things that you didn't complete or failed. There's no such things. These are just lessons for you to find where you stand in this world. And once you do, you're supposed to lead at it. So even if you're at a job and your boss is asking you to step up or wants to promote you to a leadership position, do not fear it. Walk into it because this is what your soul is guiding you to do. You're supposed to lead. So go ahead and do it. Take it on a challenge. But trust me, once you start it, you will find it to be the most easiest thing in the world because you were born for this, okay? You're strong leaders. And in your family units, a lot of you are supposed to take charge of the family unit. You're supposed to lead. You know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know what isn't. You just don't want to lead because you're afraid to hurt people's feelings, but you're supposed to kind of lead in truth. And sometimes it's not going to go over well with everyone, but that's part of being a leader. It's not to people please. It's to lead, literally to lead, okay? Just like when you're training a dog, you have to be the leader. You have to make the dog feel safe, like you are, the master. You're supposed to lead them. So think of that within your family unit, your job, your friendships. You know better. Don't let unhealed people lead you, okay? Don't do that. And it is a masculine energy, and don't be afraid of that masculine energy. Don't be afraid if someone, it's like you always want to be a leader, or it's kind of selfish, or your life path one, you're supposed to put self first. And as you put the self first, then everything else falls into place. It's just part of the path and the journey. The third one is initiative. Take the initiative in your endeavors and be preactive in it. Like, be proactive. Make sure you're out there achieving your goals. Make sure you are taking the initiative to start the task and finish it. Start it and finish it. Don't just start it, leave it, put it on the dust, and then go start something else and start something else. Like I said, you are going to go through that because until you find your path. But there's some things you guys have shelved that needs to be taken off the shelf, dusted off, and completed. Put it in order and take initiative. If you want to open a business, even if you just want to start a family, take the initiative to do that. What does that look like? If you want this great relationship, take charge of that. How does that look like? Go ahead and initiate it. And it's going to start with initiating by developing yourself, by working on self, then everything else will fall into place. The challenge of life path one is that you're going to attract a lot of people that want to have some type of control over you, that want to kind of steer you in the left and rights in all different directions, that in your heart that's not what you want to do. And the universe will continue to challenge you on these things until you take initiative of your own life and in achieving your own goals in your own unique way. Okay, this is just part of the game. The fourth lesson is self-reliance. Cultivate self-reliance and trust your abilities to overcome challenges. Okay, you can overcome anything. You can. You really, really can. And you can bounce back from any situation. When things happen, you can bounce back from it. You guys can be off one day and dust it back up, similar to like a life path 8 kind of energy. And you guys may attract a lot of life path 8s in your life as well, because you're both strong life path numbers. But you have resilience, you can bounce back, you can be fall off, and you can bounce right back again. But you need to have your own self-reliance. Know that you can trust your abilities to overcome stuff. You don't always need someone to help you out. You can help yourself. You're in charge of your own life, and no one else can tell you how to live it but yourself, even me. So that is what we have for the life path number one. If you need guidance on your journey right now, I would suggest that you learn your numerology chart in depth. This is where I started. I started my journey by learning my life path number, and then I learned other numbers within my chart, which helped me to become a leader. And my leadership is doing exactly what I'm doing now by giving you guys this knowledge. And this was how I was supposed to show up in this world. I had no idea this was how I was supposed to show up in this world, because before I was a bartender. And that is something that was completely out of my control. But I love the schedule, and I love the flexibility, and I love the freedom of the money. But at the same token, it didn't feel exactly right. I always had people in charge of me, and I didn't understand why I didn't ever want to be stepped up to another position, because it wasn't my calling, but I knew that I could lead better than the people that were leading me. You get what I'm saying? But once I found out my chart numbers, found out challenge numbers, found out cycles, hope that your chart can go in depth. It took me about a year and a half to 2 years to really master numerology. To save you the time and effort, I have an online academy, Stacy's Numerology Academy. That's me, to help you guys really find your path. Instead of trying to find it all online, I've packaged it in one little convenient online course to be completed at any time. However long it takes you, it is lifetime access. Plus, it comes with 2 audio coachings from me. So if you're really ready and serious about taking the journey and finding yourself and discovering your path and finding out how to show up in this world, It's going to be linked in the description below.